Matthew Talbot from Stanmore Developments, please. Thank you.
Kia ora. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. So I'm representing Stanmore Development. It's a business I started to support the regeneration of Stanmore Road. It's an area where I live. I live just off Fitzgerald Ave. I've lived there for 10 years, and I haven't seen much change. And as I've grown older, I've had the option to be able to make change myself. It's not easy, but there's huge potential, as everyone talks about. It's very interesting following the previous speaker. Victoria has a very strong neighbourhood association. The area around Stanmore doesn't. I've been working quite hard with the existing groups to initiate an organisation that goes above the levels of all the existing organisations, a group that represents all the residents and businesses in the area. That's a hard job. It's a really hard job. So that's the environment that I'm working in this area. And there are difficult issues that are not always evident until you start getting stuck in and trying to make change. So on the subject of the differential for rates, in general, I respect the idea. It's been very effective where it's been used. The issue I have in my situation in Stanmore is the timeline is different. The timeline is different. The issues are different for us. Whereas there was a very clear plan in place in town about what needed to be done, and a bit of a stick was required to get people to act. In the fringes of the city, I don't feel like there's such a clear plan about what neighbourhood should look like. And if you've read what I wrote, I've drawn attention to some of the areas which have been developed. There was the Williams Court building in Worcester Street, commonly seen as a failure. They admit it. Gloucester Street, Woodham Road, again, for lease signs everywhere. The kind of development that is happening is not really working. And so I think that something different is needed, and the issues that the approach that I'm taking is to bring people in, and that's a very hard thing to do. You guys have put a lot of money into the streetscape, but it isn't really solving that problem of reasons for people to come in. I will stop shortly, but I believe that the differential in this area is it's a stick where we need carrots for a little while, and I'm looking for the support of council to give more reason for people to come in and support us developers with innovative ideas for bringing people in. Once we do that, and I believe it's a lot of these ideas are around supporting community, we can have an active neighbourhood, and we can make things happen. But until that happens, developers aren't just sitting on their hands for no reason. They're sitting on their hands because if we build something, it's going to be empty in the current environment. So,
thank you. Aaron had his hand up first. Thanks.
Yeah, obviously people make places safer, usually the right sort of people, but because if you have too many of let's call them the wrong sort of people, you get trouble. But if you look at a strip like Stanmore Road, if we wanted to encourage people to live above all the commercial spaces, because those people then lower crime because there's eyes everywhere, if the DCs were dropped in a zone like that, so the development contributions for everything in the commercial space, if you put apartments above each of the shops, would that trigger development?
I'm not sure. I haven't come here with solutions either.
Yeah. No, it's just a straight question. They've been raised earlier because, like Sarah mentioned, we'd use them in town to try and trigger activity post-quake. So should we be using them in suburban areas, especially in down main roads where we want more productive bus lines or train lines? It's carrot and stick. So that's potentially one that where you want people living, you encourage that way. You drop your DCs for 18 months and try and spur a whole lot of development.
It certainly could, and I appreciate that kind of thinking, and the more opportunity to have conversations around these ideas, that's what I'm looking for here today.
Thank you, Aaron, and thank you, Matthew. Okie doke. Next, we've got Lindsay